This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin this afternoon with news that a recall attempt of Fargo School Board members has failed. The district says it has to do with the signature validation process, revealing that there weren't enough signatures to call for the recall. Signatures were disqualified for a variety of reasons, including inadequate signature, out of district address, an address missing city and zip code, and no date. The group behind the recall effort was attempting to oust board members Seth Holden, Tracy Newman, Nikki Gullickson, and Jim Johnson. 4,144 valid signatures were needed, and in only one of the 4 cases did the number of valid signatures top 3,000. The number of COVID cases and hospitalizations continue to climb at Sanford Health. Among 22 Sanford-owned facilities, we're told that there are currently 159 patients hospitalized with COVID-19, and out of those, 143 are unvaccinated. Hospital officials say ICU capacity has also nearly doubled in the last month, now reaching 45 patients. And those on ventilators have tripled, jumping from 11 to 34.
Unfortunately, there are so many people in the hospital right now that these extra 135 people, these extra 40 people on a ventilator, really are enough to make it difficult for our staff to have all of the tools they need and to have all of the people they need to take care of an additional 1, 2, 10 more.
There's also a concern that the total COVID-19 hospitalizations among all facilities could peak between 200 and 225 within the next couple of weeks. Well, the wind returned today, but coupled with some sunshine and temps in the 70s, I'll take that for the first day of fall. Hutch is here with what you can expect tonight. Hutch?
Mike, happy autumnal equinox to you at 2:20 today. That's what happened. The direct rays of the sun exactly over the equator. Now, as we move forward, the daylight hours grow longer than the hours of sunshine that we get each day. A clear, let me try that one more time. Crystal clear skies right now over the Grand Forks area. A little bit of a breeze out there, Mike Morgan, but the satellite radar, we may as well turn the radar off. Look at the heat out west. Those reds indicate 80s out there for the oil patch, and in the central part of North Dakota, mid 70s. We are still near 70 in central Minnesota, even though it's a little cooler. It's still pleasant. Breezy for all this evening. Those winds continue. Temperatures will slide quickly into the 50s after that sun sets tonight. And in Grand Forks, we're looking at similar temperatures, diving down into the 60s for the majority of our early evening hours. Coming up, I'll have details on a cold front that's moving our way, Mike, and how that'll impact your day for tomorrow in just a few moments.
There'll be a time when cold will be something I'm worried about.
It'll have a little more of a slap to it.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah.
Police in Bemidji are looking for 3 armed and dangerous men involved in a shooting at an apartment complex. It happened early this morning at the Pine Ridge Apartments. It's located at 30th Street Northwest. Investigators received several reports of gunshots, one caller saying that he had been shot and was driving himself to the hospital. The man told police that 3 men surrounded his car and the gunman began firing into his windshield. He was not able to give detailed descriptions. More than 30 DUI tests over a 2-year period were invalid because the devices used on these tests were expired or unapproved. That's according to an audit from the North Dakota Attorney General's office. The 34 invalid DUI tests can be dismissed in court. Officials say nearly 9,000 DUI tests were reviewed by the state auditor's office over a 2-year audit period, which ended in June of 2020. You can find the complete audit report by going to our website at valleynewslive.com. The search continues for the man who is considered a person of interest in the death and disappearance of 22-year-old Gabby Petito. Search teams are combing through a Florida swampland right now looking for Brian Laundrie, who is possibly the last person to have seen Petito alive. It was confirmed yesterday that the body was found in Wyoming over the weekend was Gabby, and now her death is being ruled as a homicide. Laundrie has not been named a suspect, but former U.S. Attorney John Huber says prosecutors are likely already working with police to determine if and when charges may be filed.
If there's evidence as to what happened here and who did it, certainly charges can issue if they believe they have evidence beyond a reasonable doubt.
A spokesperson for Gabby's family says the investigation team in Wyoming left the cross of stones near where her body was found. More protesters will be outside the abortion clinic in downtown Fargo. The Catholic Diocese of Fargo is starting its 40 Days of Life campaign. The diocese saying it plans on stationing people outside the Red River Women's Clinic for 16 hours a day for 40 straight days. The Women's Clinic is the only provider of abortion services in North Dakota. In the wake of the Minnesota State Fair and concerns over the spread of COVID, State Fair officials are saying that there were 228 COVID cases traced back to the fair. For a little perspective, there were more than 1.3 million people in attendance. So while these numbers seemingly low or may offer a sense of relief, doctors say this doesn't mean our COVID fight is anywhere near over.
We have high transmission rates, we have a high positivity rate of above 5%, and, we are filling our hospitals with patients who have COVID.
Health officials say that 70% of Minnesotans have been fully vaccinated, and many people chose to mask up at the fair, which also helped keep transmission numbers low. President Joe Biden today hosted a virtual summit with world leaders where he announced plans to donate another 500 million Pfizer vaccine doses to poorer countries. It came amid sharp criticism over vaccine inequity, as the FDA is expected to sign off on booster shots for vulnerable Americans and first doses for young children. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
4.5 million.
In a virtual COVID summit with world leaders, President Biden today committing to donate another 500 million doses of Pfizer vaccine to lower income countries, bringing the total planned U.S. donations to 1.1 billion.
For every one shot we've administered to date in America, we have now committed to do 3 shots to the rest of the world.
The president calling on other wealthy nations to help reach the goal of getting 70% of the world's population vaccinated over the next year.
To beat the pandemic here, we need to beat it everywhere.
It comes amid intense criticism over the inequity of vaccine distribution.
It is an obscenity.
Critics fault the U.S. for embarking on a booster campaign before much of the global population has received 1 dose. Still, the FDA expected to greenlight a 3rd shot for Americans 65 and older and those at high risk for severe disease.
Boosters should be given and other doses should be given to the other countries.
And a highly anticipated decision could come before Halloween, authorizing a smaller dose of the Pfizer vaccine for children aged 5 to 11. This 9-year-old was part of the trial.
The consequences of getting COVID and a possibility of dying is much worse than the consequences of getting a shot and it swells up a little bit.
A race to vaccinate at home and abroad and turn the tide on the virus.
The president also promised to export oxygen and help expand testing around the world. And the U.S. is making investments how to identify and head off the next global pandemic. More than 30 major U.S. companies are stepping up to help Afghan refugees. Amazon, Facebook, Pfizer, Tyson Foods, Uber and UPS are among the companies that have promised to hire and train Afghans settling in this country. Amazon has said it would hire refugees in its warehouses and transportation centers with a starting wage of more than $18 an hour. It will also pay for training and education programs. The IRS is trying to figure out why some families didn't get their September child tax credit payment. They were expecting to receive the monthly installment by last Wednesday. The IRS says it distributed $15 billion in credits to about 35 million families. Eligible families can get up to $300 for each child up to age 6 and $250 for each one between the ages of 6 and 17. This video has gone viral with 1.5 million views on TikTok. It involves a local restaurant, Stone Town Grill in West Fargo. Valley News Live's JC Dodd tells us the story behind the video, which has gained worldwide attention.
It is a build-your-own noodle grain or salad bowl.
It's like 1.4 million views. I was like, how is that even possible?
Marty and Jessica Larhey opened Stone Town Grill last November, a dream of theirs years in the making. Their start, however, was bogged down by the pandemic.
It's been slow. It's been a challenge to get people to know, who we are and where we are.
So hoping to help out, their daughter Kiana made this TikTok.
My family recently opened a restaurant in West
explaining
Fargo,
what
North
the Stonetown
Dakota.
Grill has to offer.
So I was like, well, I'll just post it. And then I woke up Saturday morning and I had like 18,000 views, and it just kept going from there.
The video's immediate impact caught all involved off guard.
Instantly. Yeah, it was instant, you know, and it hasn't stopped.
So we've got 12 different sauces to choose from, all gluten-free.
And then that night we had people coming in and go, hey, we saw you on TikTok.
The Larhys say they've used social media before to market their restaurant, but they never thought TikTok would be the app to launch them.
We didn't know how to connect and how to get their attention. We thought, you know, we're using Facebook and but that didn't seem to be working. So yeah, this TikTok thing, it's crazy, and it's actually kind of fun.
As for Kiana, she says she plans to keep making TikToks showcasing the restaurant.
He's given up so many of his dreams to support ours. So the fact that my siblings and I get to work here and support his dream has been really fun.
In West Fargo, JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
Stonetown Grill is a build-your-own salad, grain, and noodles bar with recipes influenced from all over the world. And if you want more information, we have a link to their website. Go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. There are more students at Mayville State University. Enrollment for this semester is up slightly from last year at nearly 1,200 students. That includes 182 freshmen, which is up 28% compared to last fall. Coming up after the weather, an NDSU expert has some sound advice on prepping your lawn and garden for winter.
And happy autumnal equinox. Take a look at these temperatures up to the north. Some changes are on the way, but we're staying warm here as those near freezing temperatures are beginning to arrive in northern portions of Canada. Today was that equinox at 2:20. Coming up tomorrow, a cool front approaches. I'll have how it impacts your Thursday next.